to the heart of the matter. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the dynamics between a secure and an anxious attachment style. Before I continue, if you haven't done this as yet, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button, and so you could just have these recordings as soon as they get out there. Now, we know that relationships can be very complex, especially when individuals with different attachment styles come together. So the dynamic between someone who's got a secure attachment style and someone with an anxious attachment style can be both challenging, but also rewarding. So we always want to stick with more of what is a positive than the negative. We could work through the negatives, but let's try to always stay in that place of gratitude. We want to understand and navigate this relationship dynamic because that is incredibly important for a healthy and fulfilling partnership. I want us to today explore the unique dynamics, potential challenges, and some of the strategies for building a strong and supportive relationship with those individuals who's got a secure and an anxious attachment style. But first, let's talk a little bit about a secure attachment style. These individuals typically have a positive view of themselves and their relationships. They're very comfortable with intimacy, they express their emotions openly, and they trust their partners. They provide a sense of stability and security in relationships, and that is something every one of us human beings want when we are planning to have another person in our life. Now, the anxious attachment style, these are individuals who often experience fear of abandonment, and they seek reassurance and validation from their partners. They may exhibit clingy behavior, and they have a heightened sensitivity to relationship cues. It means they don't miss anything. They experience anxiety when their needs for closeness are not met, and they do have a difficult time regulating their emotions. Now, this isn't to say that someone with a secure attachment style will not feel anxious from time to time. Feeling anxious is a natural human response to when we feel like there's danger around. Now, let's talk a little bit about understanding the dynamics between someone with a secure attachment style and someone with an anxious attachment style. This dynamic can be both complementary and challenging, like I've said before. The secure partner's ability to provide that stability and the reassurance can help to alleviate the anxious partner's fears and insecurities. The secure partner's consistent availability and the way they respond can create a sense of safety. And this allows the anxious attached partner to feel more at ease, makes the anxious attached partner feels like they are safe to share their thoughts, opinions, feelings with their partner. Now, the challenges in these relationships can be that the anxious attached partner's needs for constant reassurance and validation may at times become too overwhelming for a secure attached partner. The secure attached partner needs autonomy as well. They need independence, and that may trigger the anxious attached partner's fear of abandonment. So communication breakdowns can happen when the anxious attached partner's heightened sensitivity clashes with that secure partner's more relaxed approach to emotional expression. Now let's talk a little bit about the strategies for building a strong relationship. And again, just a quick reminder, if you haven't done it as yet, hit the subscribe button. You can also leave a review. When we do these things, it helps the algorithm to push the content to other people who may need this. And I strongly believe that we need to teach attachment style to everyone at every age. So if you could help me out here, I'd really appreciate it. Anywho, let's talk about some strategies. Open and honest communication. I've spoken about this many times. I will continue to speak about how important this is. When we don't have open and honest communication as human beings, on the receiving end of that open and honest communication, if that's not present, we feel it, and that makes us feel unsafe and insecure. So it is incredibly important that we remember it is important to be open and honest. Both partners in this dynamic needs to be openly communicative when it comes to their needs, their fears, and their insecurities. And we want to do this when we're sharing. We want to make sure that we're always in that respectful space. We want to empathize with the other person, and we want to be respectful, calm, gentle when we're sharing. Shouting and trying to get our message across in an aggressive way is not going to have a positive outcome. I'm sure we've all experienced this, and we all know that I'm right about this. So the secure partner can provide reassurance and understanding, while the anxious partner can express their concerns without the fear of any judgment. We want to establish boundaries really early in the relationship. We cannot assume that the other person is going to know what our boundaries are. We cannot assume that by hinting what our boundaries are, it's going to be received as we intend it to be received by the other person. The other person is not a mind reader. We want to set clear boundaries to help both partners feel secure in the relationship. We want to say, these are my boundaries, and this is why I have these boundaries. If it's that I'm at work and I'm really busy at work, and I would really appreciate it if you could take this into consideration if you have to call me or message me from the hours of 9 to 5, because if you don't, I lose my track of thought. It throws me off, and I'm open to hearing from you, but please take that into consideration. Your partner will appreciate this. So establish boundaries in a clear and compassionate manner. Now, usually the secure partner can communicate their need for personal space, while the anxious partner can express their need for closeness, but we can do that always in a manner that doesn't make the other person feel overwhelmed. And how do we do that? In a gentle manner, and in a manner that says, I am listening to you. I want to hear what you've got to say. Building trust is also incredibly important. And if we can establish boundaries, and if we can be open and honest in our communications, then we're on track with building trust. The secure partner's consistent availability and responsiveness can help to build trust. The anxious attached partner can work on developing trust in their partner's commitment and reliability, and this allows them to feel more secure in the relationship. So every time as an anxious attached partner, if you get into your head and you think that, oh, I'm not hearing from my partner, and this means that they don't love me, they don't want to be with me, they don't care about me, they're seeing somebody else, get into your head and try to remind yourself of the reality of the relationship. Has your partner been showing up for you? Is your partner responsive, available? And try to talk yourself out of your fears. Try to regulate your emotions. Sit with these emotions and get to know them. Ask them why questions. Why am I feeling fear? Why am I feeling distress? Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Why do I feel like I need to reach out? And then go deeper. If I feel like I need to reach out because if I don't, they're going to leave me. Why do I feel like they're going to leave me? Because people have left me in the past. Why do I feel like everyone's left me in the past? So keep going down the why questions. What that does is it moves us away from the overwhelm of the emotions, and it puts us more in a mindset of finding a solution. Less victim, more solution. Now, if it gets too difficult, it's always a great idea to seek some support. Couples therapy is an incredible tool for couples who want to understand each other. Remember, we are very different people, and it's a great idea to have someone there to navigate the relationship dynamic with you, the conversation with you. The third party, the support party, may be able to ask questions that both of you will be thinking about and trying to accommodate each other through provoking questions that they may pose. So it's something that you want to consider. Self-care is really important, and I don't mean going on a shopping spree or going on a vacation. I mean the stuff that helps you to do the deep inner healing work. And a lot of times, this involves alone time, learning to enjoy your own company. If that means picking up a musical instrument, going for a walk, doing some yoga, journaling, meditating. Alone exercises are the best self-care. Long bath, those are great as well. So I'm not saying it's got to be daunting, and none of these things are daunting, but it's really about learning to love your own company. Let's remember that the relationship dynamic between someone with a secure attachment style and someone with an anxious attachment style will always require understanding, patience, and open communication. And we can do it with empathy and boundaries, balancing each other out. We're in a good place. I wish you all the best in your relationship, and I hope this helped. Until the next time, I'm your host, Annalisa Bahadur.